Hello, welcome. And I've just realised that I've left my laptop charger downstairs and my laptop battery's about to die. So that was very clever of me. I may have to go grab that in a second. Hi Dylan. Again, unfortunately, you're not first. Right, so I hope the broadcast and everything is running all right. This is the first time I've done this whole setup thing here. So forgive us if it goes a little bit wrong. As in forgetting my laptop charger. So you'll have to give me for 2 moments while I go get it. I'm very sorry about this. And my first stream becomes exceedingly unprofessional. Well, it's not my first stream, but my first stream like this becomes exceedingly unprofessional. Okay, now the stream won't die in the middle. Okay, right. So anyway, the whole point of this stream we've got going on now is recently, I don't know if people probably heard it harping on about it, I've gotten quite into the whole tabletop RPGs and D&D and stuff like that. And I recently got this book. Now, I'm pretty sure you can make this so that the writing goes the right way around for you guys to read it. But, you know, can everybody hear us okay as well? Like, is the sound coming through okay? Please let us know. Yeah, so the complete guide to creating epic campaigns, which is written by Guy Sclanders, who has a YouTube channel called How to Be a Great GM. If you're not already subscribed, I suggest you go over there and do so if you're interested in D&D and tabletops and stuff like that. So just checking the chat here to make sure people can hear me. Yeah, so I got the book and I've read through it. Well, I got the PDF as well, because you get a free copy of the PDF if you buy the hard copy of the book. So I read through the PDF and I really enjoyed it. It's in his typical style of the way he talks. It's full of humour as well to keep you interested all the time. It's done a nice little sections that you can follow through. I would, as he does state in the book, is to read through the whole thing first. So you've got an idea of how to build the campaigns first, and then go back and go through step by step, creating your campaign for your game and stuff like that. It's very nice artwork. I like it anyway. I think it reminds us quite a little bit of Dragon Age, and apparently he's quite into his Dragon Age as well. So there is a little bit of a hint of it in there. He's done all his own artwork in it as well, which is nice, but my webcam might not be able to pick it up. The only downside to some of the artwork is there happens to be 4 tentacle pictures in here, and well, I'm not a huge fan of tentacles, but that's some of the artwork and stuff that's going on through the book. Yeah, they're tentacles. Already were tentacles. I just can't escape them. It's yeah. But yeah, so it's filled with some nice illustrations every few pages as well to break it up. And the other good thing that I like about this one as well is to going through the step-by-step. So it's everything from creating your plot, the little mini adventures that go along with it, creating your NPCs. There's a lot of section in there for creating various NPCs, how to create amazing villains as well. The pacing of the campaign, how to then interject with any character storylines that your players might be wanting to go through and stuff like that, which is pretty good. And it's also got a lot of tables. Now the tables are just at the end of the section, once he's explained, like say the plot section, he then has little tables that you can work your way through to input information in, and it just helps. It helps piece together the plot, especially the actual plot one, which I'm just looking for now. And all based around, yes, so you've got your, like the tables in there. So you can put in your sentences, and then down here, which you can't really see, it's got the questions. So you ask yourself the questions of the plot, and once you've filled in that section, it just gives you a nice way to think about methodically how to create your NPCs and how to create your characters that you want to introduce into your game. I'm still not entirely sure whether I can be heard or not, since people aren't replying, but never mind. I'll just assume that they are. I'm pretty sure somebody would have told me now if I can't be heard. Yeah, so it goes back through the book, as I said, quite methodically. So you've got your plot, your starting line, and anybody that's ever been on his channel will know his typical starting line. Somebody wants something badly but is having trouble getting it. So it all starts with that, the sentence, and then it works through, from there. Designing your adventures, your plot, adventures on the fly. As I said, the timing, even down to like the timing of the entire campaign as to how long it's going to span, down to the timing for sessions as well, if you want to keep your sessions down to a particular time length. And then a very good large section at the end on NPC buildings, the different types of NPCs that you get in the game, and how they can help drive the plot forward and things like that. And as I said, it is done in his truly epic writing style and humor format, which is actually very good. It's a little similar to mine, to be honest with you, his humor, which is probably why I enjoy his videos so much. And also picked up the book as soon as it came out, because I just had to read it now that I've become so addicted. The book isn't just D&D. It is any setting. It's not setting specific. It is literally just how to create a campaign for any kind of game that you're wanting to run. And then there's more tables in there for your NPCs and things like that you can fill out. If you go onto his website as well, all the tables are there that you can download for yourself, so you can fill them out. Obviously, you can copy these into a spreadsheet or something if you really want to, but the tables are all there on his website as well to download, which is really handy. And as I say, you can get the hard copy of the book, and when you do that, you get the free PDF as well, which I thought was really good. So you've got it to read on your phone or your laptop, whatever, if you don't want to carry your book around with you. Or you can buy it just the PDF on DriveThruRPG. I should have got the links and everything for this as well. So I definitely do recommend if you've got anybody in your life that is into D&D, or you yourself are, or any kind of tabletop RPG game really. I do recommend getting it. If you like me and you like the actual books, get the book. But the PDF has all the information in there as well. Especially if you've got somebody that you know is wanting to get into GMing and things like that. It's just a really handy step-by-step, especially if you're a narrative type GM and you like to tell a story, because that's what really Guy's all about, is telling his stories and things like that. So yeah, I'm not really sure much else I can say about it. Sitting here just waffling on, first time I've ever done one of these. But I guess now I'll just chunter on to the chat. If you guys can actually hear me and are still there. If anybody's got any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask. Yeah, so like totally I've been getting into the whole D&D things currently. I've started just running as a player with some friends of mine that wanted to start. Most of us are all new and have never really done it before, but we're having a lot of fun in that. And then another couple of friends of mine, they just asked us if I would GM a session for them to see if they would actually like it. And I thought, oh, I've only really just started playing. I don't know how well I'd be able to GM, but I'm willing to give it a go. And I just love doing that as well. Just creating the stories and things like that. One thing I like doing as well is emoting the NPCs. I like creating lots of little different, excuse me a moment, NPCs and things like that to entertain my players with, and they seem to enjoy it as well. That's one of the pieces of feedback that I get from them most often, is they like the way I do the NPCs and things like that. So that's what I was really interested in, the sections in this book on how to create different types and the different uses for them as well, because they're not just, there as window dressing in your game, although they can be. They can serve a lot of purpose and help drive your plot forward and things like that. So that was one of the sections I was really interested in picking up from the book and stuff like that. And now that I've started DMing, I kind of have the bug now. I don't know what I prefer more. I don't know whether I prefer playing more or DMing more. I suppose since it's just my first time doing both, I suppose I'll have to do a little bit more of each of them to decide. I also play a Traveller game. That one's by Tex. That one's like a sci-fi space game, and that one's just so good. It's quite an old game. It's been around since the 70s, I believe it has. Yeah, it's been around since the 70s. Excuse me a moment, I'm about to have a little small coughing bit. Sorry, I'm still slightly getting over this cold. I thought I'd completely kicked it, but obviously I haven't. It's still there. It's tickling in the back of my throat. I'll have a quick little cup of coffee there. So yeah, I got quite heavily into that, into DMing, and the first one I did, I just ran a standard module. Lost Minds of Fandover. I don't know if probably everybody that's ever played D&D's probably played that. At some point in time, I guess. It's one of those like starter modules. And it's quite interesting, and I thought if starting with a module would be better, I guess, because I wouldn't have to start like creating a campaign or a story or anything like that. I could just learn the rules and learn how to do it whilst having the story there without having to deal with creating a story and everything as well. But I did find it a little restrictive, I think, doing the modules for the first time. Especially when your players kind of like go off book and then you're stuck with thinking, oh, what do I do now? You can make stuff up on the fly, I suppose, but it's a lot easier to make stuff up on the fly when you're not restricted by an already storyline in place, I suppose, than it is trying to make things up on the fly that will then fit with the rest of the story, just trying to drag people back on the rails or whatever. So I'm quite glad, obviously, once we've finished the module that we're running, everybody seems of the team, they seem quite happy. All right, okay, so the entire chat's been talking all this time and my chat just hasn't been registering it. Hello everybody, hello Dylan and Kraggles and Will and Danny. I'm not entirely sure who Danny is, but I'm not dancing. And then spankings are reserved for certain people. Von Hindenburg, hello, welcome, and Tails. Right. Oh my days, like I thought this whole time I thought nobody had been talking to me, and it just so happened that my chat had froze. So I do apologise for ignoring everybody and just waffling on here like an idiot. But yeah. So yes, do I have an idea kicking around in my head for a D&D like thing? Yeah, I was like, the chat just wasn't updating itself and it was stuck, and then I just restarted the stream on my phone there, and then just loads of chat just came up, and I thought, oh my days, I've just been ignoring everybody this whole time. What advice to limit an adventure to 2 hours? I'm thinking I could use it. Yeah. The timing thing, I think, is just something that comes with experience, because I haven't sussed it out yet. I mean, Guy kind of gives advice of having certain time limits and a clock there that you can glance at. So you're not necessarily that you're clock watching the whole time, but if you've set like a limit for a session and then, you know, you look up and you're at the hour mark and you think, oh, I'm still not even halfway through here, and then you've got to adjust on the fly kind of thing, which will be a little bit difficult with how many GMs we're going to be attempting to run in this thing, but let's try all the things. Yeah, but that's the best. That's the best way, I think. Sometimes it's just try all the things. I need everything. And take an hour to go through a room. Yeah, well, sometimes you need to take an hour to go through a room, though. One Hindenburg, I can see that only so far I only have played in more or less sandboxy campaigns. Yeah, I think I wouldn't mind. Like, the whole idea of the sandbox campaign is that the world just carries on regardless. Well, not regardless of what your players do. Obviously, your players do have an impact on the world, a very big impact on the world, but the world still kind of keeps going on. So if your players don't go to an area to do something, then it might just occur without them, and the consequences will just happen or whatever. Whereas a storyline driven one, obviously your players can still go off the rails and do different things or whatever, but you can just pull the story across to fit wherever it is they happen to end up. Yeah, that trap thing was just ridiculous, Will. I'm not gonna lie. We need to get that game on the go again, actually. It's a 3.5 edition. That was another thing I had to do, was learn 1,000,001 different rule sets in a short space of time. Because I think I started playing Pathfinder middle of last year, I think it was. Or maybe it's middle or towards the end of last year. And I've been DMing for about 6 months. So that was Pathfinder, which I had to kind of learn. Then D&D 5th edition. Then another friend was wanting to start up another campaign, which was 3.5 D&D. I mean, fortunately, all the rule sets are kind of similar, but different enough to still trip you up when you're trying to learn that many all at once. So that was like 3.5 edition, and then Traveller as well, which is that's quite rules heavy, I guess. But when you actually get into things that need the rules, but a lot of it's just free form or free flow, whatever it is you choose to do, kind of thing. But that's got like spaceship combat as well as like your normal combat and things like that. But it's set in, like, I think the thing with it being set in space as well is that even if you don't get into any combat, it's still exciting because you're in a space adventure and things happen that don't necessarily have anything to do with combat, but can still be quite life-threatening. And I think also with that game, because you're not like, you're just normal people. You've got like skills, like engineering skills or piloting skills or things or whatever, but it's not like you've got magic or any of these amazing feats to put at your use. So you're just kind of like normal people having to deal with whatever it is that the game throws at you. I think our first battle, when we were running from the pirates, the sky pirates, and we were getting shot, I think just being in space makes dying that little bit more scary, I guess. Because it's not like we've got a medic on board who can like patch you up if you get injured, but I suppose if you get like shot in half by a laser, there's no coming back from that. Also, when you're in your spaceship, if your spaceship gets destroyed or disabled or whatever, you're kind of just floating around in the emptiness of space until somebody comes to rescue you. Yeah, you could technically die in Traveller before you played, I suppose, because in the character creation section, which is like a session all of itself, and you roll dice to create your character as well, which I find really interesting, because you could have an idea of what kind of character you want, but then as you go through your careers and your education and things like that, you roll for events that happen, and you might end up getting kicked out of that career and having to take a different one, or end up being a drifter, or so it kind of simulates as best as possible with dice, like real life things that could happen. You know, lots of people have plans when they start out, and then things just happen, and they end up somewhere totally different to where they originally wanted to start. So that was the case with Traveller as well. And my character creation, I didn't do too bad. I did get kicked out of one of my careers, and then the second one I just kind of left. But and then you accumulate enemies and rivals and contacts and things like that through your career and stuff. And technically, you could probably stay in your career until you died, because once you get past a certain age, you start rolling on the age table. And I mean, if you just kept on rolling on the character creation screen, you could probably just roll yourself to death, but without even playing. In all fairness, you can also start the game already in incredible amounts of debt, and yeah, so it's pretty good that you can end up playing a character that you really didn't want to. But as long as you know that, hello Sky Rabbit Ranger, what time is it where? Here it is currently 11:15 at night. What game am I talking about? I'm talking about lots of games, but the space one is a TTRPG called Traveller, a tabletop game called Traveller. But I have been playing. Yeah, I was quite lucky because I rolled on the table where I had a little scout ship. So we started with a little scout ship, our group. There's only 3 of us. So it was originally supposed to be 4, but one of them wasn't very good at keeping in contact and didn't answer the GM when he was trying to like get information out of him, or even get him to sit down and try and actually even do the character creation. So after a while of us bending over backwards trying to find different time slots and then just him not responding for ages, the GM just eventually kicked him. So there's just the 3 of us currently in it, which is quite good. And it's all by text as well, this one, which is an interesting way of playing because it does. It kind of can help with the immersion a little bit because you haven't got the banter chat. You're literally just playing the game. And I know some people do voice games where they don't engage at all in any kind of out of character conversation during a game or whatever. But during text, you're less likely to. If somebody wants to ask an out of character question, we've got the Discord server. So if somebody just wants to literally ask the GM a question or something like that, or just maybe make an ouch comment when somebody's rolled like the 20th natural one or something. Then, yeah, he does. I lost track of thought there as I was reading the text chat. Yeah, the text chat does make it quite immersive. And he has like music playing in the background, and like if you're on a space station, he's got space station background noise playing. So it does like quite immerse you in the game. And in that first mission where we were being chased by the space pirates, that was actually quite scary because me and another guy were running back to get back to the ship, so we could dock and fly away before the pirates got us. And he had like battle music playing, and he was describing us bouncing off the walls in our spacesuits trying to run through the spaceship, and and it was actually getting quite excited and nerve wracking and things like that. And I thought, oh, this is brilliant. It's actually, I think when you actually start getting emotional in the game and stuff like that, it's brilliant. So it's a sign of a good GM that can do that, I think. Hopefully one day I'll get there. Maybe if I continue to be great with me creating out a campaigns book that everybody should go out and get, but not if you can't afford it, obviously. Yeah, eventually I'll be able to actually be ever dress as a character or LARP. I dress up quite a lot. Sky Rabbit. Oh yeah, I was just talking about this book at the beginning of it. Really, there wasn't lots of book reviews. It was just this one. I was supposed to be doing a video, but I'm not very good at editing videos. But what I may do is just clip out the beginning of this stream, minus the having to run downstairs and get my laptop charger, and make that into a video, or actually just bite the bullet and make a proper review video. We'll see. Because I work full time and I'm lazy, so yeah, things don't always get done. The book is called The Complete Guide to Creating Epic Campaigns. And it's just basically a GM tool for creating campaigns for any kind of tabletop RPG game that you're running. Yeah, just basically how to create the campaign, how to build adventures, and how to populate your world with NPCs and things like that as well. Like Icelanders. Yeah, I haven't LARPed. That actually is something that I would like to do, because I just would. But me and my friends, like, used to do fancy dress every year in May for a couple of their birthdays, and I've been all sorts. I've been everything from a leprechaun, Cleopatra, a pirate, Wonder Woman, voodoo witch doctor. I think that might be it. Future Girl, who was just a made up costume, and I couldn't think of a name for her, so I just called her Future Girl. Because why not? Yeah. Oh, and then one year we went out with zombies. That was really good. Uh, looked awesome. And then another year we all went out as various clowns. So we had some just random clowns. We had some like mimes. I went as Harley Quinn, and another friend of mine went as Joker. That was fantastic, actually. I really want to just have a cigarette, but smoking on stream's like bad crack. Well, I kind of do want one. A witch doctor, yes, a witch doctor. All right, okay, Van Hindenburg. I'll speak to you later. You have to go U-boot. Okay, you go U-boot. Whatever U-booting is. Have fun with that. Yeah, a voodoo witch doctor. That was quite amusing. Although probably most people wouldn't find it amusing now because like I did the whole blackface thing and everything, which is like supposed to be incredibly racist, but half my family's black, so I didn't really think it was that bad of big of a deal. But other people probably did. Um, extremely tropey and culturally appropriative, I suppose, but that was a while ago. I don't think I would do it now. People just change. But yeah, LARPing, I would actually love to do. Some kind of like battle reenactment or something like that would be pretty cool. They do some of them sometimes because where I live in England, there's a lot of history in castles and things around. There's a lot of history in castles all over England, to be fair. But we've got a fair few of them around here as well, and some of the places do uh, battle reenactments and stuff like that as well. That I should really try and go to, especially down at Durham Cathedral. I think they had a big Harry Potter thing there once because I'm sure part of Harry Potter was filmed in there. Um, was it a pirate character from Pirates of the Caribbean? No, it was just a pirate, really. But that year we went out in Durham, and obviously I had a pirate hat, and people just kept trying to steal my hat all the time, and it became very irritating. I was just thinking, like, how hard is it to ask before you just snatch it off my head? It's a rented costume, so if you lose it, then obviously I'll lose my deposit. So it was like that worry of like, stop stealing my costume parts. I need that back. And I don't know, it just wasn't as much fun as it was going out in our local town, I suppose. The thing is with going out in your local town as well, when everybody's fed up with being out, you can just go back to somebody's house. You don't really have that luxury when you're further afield. Yeah, you probably would steal my hat. Hmm. You'll steal everything. But it wasn't shiny though. It wasn't a shiny hat. Would you still have stolen it even though it's not a shiny hat? Um, oh, I'm just gonna have me rolly because, yes, I want me rolly. I finished the video portion now, so that's fine. Fancy second. I don't even think it was fancy, to be honest with you. It was just a plain black pirate hat. But it was quite like big and broad rimmed and things like that. Which was quite interesting. So it's a shame. I should really put the link in the chat for the thing. But anyway, it's on TTRPG, which is a site that you can buy RPG things from. I'm entirely new to all of this, and half the time in the Discord server that we go on to, it is often like they're speaking French. They're using terms that I've just never heard, and I'm constantly having to go, what does this mean? What does this mean? Especially when they just use like abbreviations for things. Like we play Heroes of the Storm and we just call it HOTS. So when people are talking in the Discord servers in there sometimes, and especially when they start talking about like monsters and various spells and spell effects and things like that, like specific things, I have no idea what they're talking about. And I just sit and watch the chat go, and it's quite interesting and I learn a lot of stuff, but I can't contribute other than what does that mean? What does that do? And then you can't keep doing that all the time because eventually somebody just tells you that Google exists. So you just go and do that to Google it. Although Googling's not necessarily always the same as having a conversation with somebody. Like I sometimes find it a little irritating when people are like, "Oh, Google it," and I say, "Well, I could go Google it, or we could sit here and have a nice little conversation about it." I mean, if you don't want to have a conversation, that's fine. Just tell us to go away, and I will go Google it. But like, I don't know, this thing that people have now that you could find that out on Google. True, but I've come to a Discord server that's about this thing to talk to people about this thing, and like, be nice to have a conversation about it instead of just reading it on Google. But never mind. Du hast. What? No, you can't have a hat. England is where the Harry Potter place is, isn't it? Yeah, parts. I think most of it. I don't know how much of it was filmed in England, in all honesty, but I do know some of it was filmed in. I think it's in Scotland somewhere, and some of it was filmed in Durham Cathedral. I never really paid attention to the Harry Potters to see if I recognise which bits of it were done in Harry Potter. I think it was there's like a big square because of the cathedral's built around this like courtyard thing where there's a where they did the washing and stuff, and I think it's got the covered walkway that runs around the outside of it as well, and I think that is the section of it that might have been in the Harry Potter films. Meanness is rampant. Yes, meanness is rampant. Just looking at myself on the stream here, just all my hand actions and stuff. Yeah, I just think it's nice. I mean, you get a lot of it. I don't know if some of it comes from Twitter when you're trying to ask people about stuff on Twitter, and they're just like, "I'm not here to be your educator." It's like, all right, well, never mind then. I'll go Google it. Nice to have a little conversation though, meet some people. You never know. What's the whole entire cat? Is that in England? Is Harry Potter World in England? I know there's definitely a Harry Potter section in Disney World. I don't know if there's a Harry Potter World in England. I never really I watched the films and they were all right, but I'm not a massive like Harry Potter fan or anything. Am I Megan's here? Oh, I'm on top chat instead of live chat. Oh yes, okay, the usual. So fap, Nothing Laura happens to be hidden in top chat, even though there's no real swear words in there. Interesting. It's interesting what YouTube will filter out on my behalf. Thought you'd been playing 7 Days to Die with the rest of them. Yes, this Megon character is one of the reasons that I have an aversion to tentacles. Mm-hmm. Of which there's like loads of pictures in here. Some tentacle pictures. And one of them it's even like it can never be dental floss, it's always tentacles. It's like, yeah, why can't, not that I want to be attacked by dental floss either, but I think it would be preferable to being attacked by tentacles. In all fairness. You mean attract? No, I haven't got an attraction to tentacles at all. They're quite just. That's all the suckers and just ew. No. No. Too busy trucking. I noticed you've been you've been playing Euro Truck Simulator quite a bit actually, to be fair. Um I have no idea why. Well, people obviously like it if you're still playing it, I guess, which is really strange. So who else in the chat? So you'd hate your pet octopus, Squiddy? Probably. That's quite funny because that's what I call him. I go, Squiddy. Oh, what are you clipping? I have no idea what you're clipping. I give up on it. My life is just there to be tormented by other people. I wish this cough would just go away. So who else have we got left back in the chat there? Is anybody else interested in the whole D&D side of things or anything? I would like to get more into it as well because there's loads of tools and interesting things that I've discovered since getting into my little foray here into D&D and stuff like that. I've discovered also I quite like making dungeon maps, and I'm actually not too bad at making dungeon maps either, in all fairness. I've made a couple for a guy off this server, and he's commissioned us to make some more. So I was like, yay! I can make a little bit of money as well as having fun doing things that I like. Oh, it's not even a smoker's cough. It's this blooming. I had this chesty cough now for the last two. To be fair, this is the tail end of it now. The beginning of the week. Oh, you know when you just coughing that much that your stomach hurts and your ribs hurt. Yeah, it was bad. Working in a cold warehouse didn't help either. Is my vibrator on the bedside table? Nope. It might just be the fan off the if it's so you can hear something, it might just be the fan off the laptop. Yeah, chesty cough. My cold itself lasted for about 2 days. Well, 2 or 3 days really, where I felt like yucky and had a blocked nose and things like that. And then that kind of cleared up and I felt a bit better. And then, yeah, the cough just got worse and worse and worse and worse. But it's starting to clear up a little bit now, thankfully. Just poking for lols. Yeah, well, get stuffed. What's my favourite character? What do you mean? Thanks. I enjoy making maps actually. My favourite character, what that I play currently, or in films? Because I've only really got one character that I play. Well, two, but like the three. No, I've got three because of the Traveller game as well. Yeah, I've got a rogue in my Pathfinder game. She's a little bit tropey, but I don't really care. I like her. And then I play kind of like in a kind of excitable, mischievous engineering computer whiz in my Traveller game. And I am a gnome druid that rides around on a mastiff dog in the 3.5 edition one. Oh. Me Dylan, I make nice maps. Dungeon Fog. Oh yes, that's what I was saying. So like all the different tools and stuff I've done, I may do little streams where I show the various tools and things that I use for building campaigns, like Dungeon Fog and Incarnate, which is good for building world maps. And then there's like a world building site that I use to build my worlds and things like that as well. That World Anvil site that I was on about. Yeah, I quite like my gnome druid really because she's just my goal really is just to see every animal in the world because druids can't turn into animals unless they've like studied them for a little bit of time. So her goal is to just travel the world trying to see every animal there is so that she can turn into every animal in the world eventually, which is probably going to be impossible, but it's a good life goal to have. And she's just insanely curious, um, really, and turns into a rhinoceros, which is quite amusing watching this little 3 foot gnome turn into a giant rhinoceros. Yeah, but you shouldn't be the tank, Will. What you should be doing is letting me tank and then you running around behind them and stabbing them in the back. In all fairness. That's how it should work. Alright, sweetie. Night night. Have a good sleep. No more tentacles. I wish I'd got another drink because now my coffee cup's empty and I'm all the way upstairs, so it's not like it's like an effort to run all the way downstairs to get another cup of coffee, especially when I'm streaming. But yeah, never mind. Yeah, you are quite dodgy, but a rogue's job's generally not to aggro the enemies particularly. That's why I designed my druid to be the way it was. Tank and healing. It's a healing tank, basically. Not that I've needed to do much. Not that I've needed to do much healing, really. I haven't taken much damage apart from that first time on the rafts when you decided it was a good idea to go out on the rickety boats, which was never going to be a good idea, but you know, and got attacked by those creature things. I've never really needed to use many of my healing spells, thankfully. I hope people get not busy for that game, in all honesty, because I'd like to. I'd like to play that character a little bit more, to be honest with you. I think she'd be quite interesting. But for now, I suppose like me Rogue is my favorite character because she's the one I've been playing the longest, and she's the one that I'm most attached to. But since I've started like learning more about it and what more's available and things like that, and getting more into the role play side of things, I keep coming up with loads of character ideas all the time, and it's like, oh, now I want to play this character, now I want to play that character. Yeah, a full campaign when we're done with this would be pretty good. I think it's just getting us all together at the same time because Lexi's pretty busy with school and stuff now anyway. So yeah, but my Rogue I think is probably my favourite. Even though she's almost been killed by tentacles before as well. It's not just me. It doesn't matter where I go. There's tentacles. He actually had it inside sucked out by a weird tentacle creature. Fortunately, my teammates rescued me, and I got dragged over the top of this wall into a separate room and stuff. And I was just like slowly dying, and I couldn't do anything because I was trapped inside my own mind because I couldn't talk because I was paralyzed. So yeah, it was a very unpleasant experience, but I got over it. And then I've got some crazy dude who's obsessed with my character, and then he turned into an undead person and then wanted to turn me into an undead person as well so I could be his undead bride. And I was just like, nope, 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 nope. But all the rest of my teammates just take the piss, basically telling us that I'm cruel and horrible for shunning the love of this crazy dude that wants to kill us. How do I survive? I wasn't being turned inside out. It like injected us with this little substance, and then it had its little suckers instead of slowly sucking my insides out, not turning me inside out. It was literally just, I can't remember how many constitution points and will points and whatnot I lost in that, because I kept fluffing my rolls as well, so I was not doing very good at all by the end of that. I think our cleric, fortunately, did we have a cleric? Yes, we had a drunken dwarf cleric. He died as well to a barghest. Yeah, I think he managed to pull us halfway around, but it took a good few sleeps to recover from that. So she's just been haunted by this crazy dude all the time. And she's got this weird amulet that she thought it would be a good idea to pick up, and now I can't put it down. And I get like, it's evil because it keeps talking to us in my head. Yeah, the amulet keeps talking to us in my head, and like trying to say that it could give us extra power to do things, and like if I a couple of times my characters got angry and the little voice in my head's been like, yes, yes, it's like give in to the dark side kind of little voice going on in my head. But so far I've managed to pretty much avoid lost my train of thought. Oh yes, I've managed to avoid it taking us over altogether. But I'm going to just keep cropping up every now and again. I'll not hear about it for a few sessions and I'll kind of forget about it, and then the GM will bring it back up again. The last time was quite spectacularly. Yes, in my character's head from the cursed amulet that I picked up. That I'm still not really sure as to its purpose per se. Although we did discover it have some kind of like communication kind of type spell on it. So I think somebody might be like listening in to us, or at least a location spell or something. I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh, this rolling. Oh, that's the good thing about rollies is that they just don't burn down like cigarettes. They just go out. Yeah. So, but I've got a barbarian in mind that I'd like to play, and a hexblade warlock because they sound pretty cool. So it's like a tiefling hexblade warlock that I think would be quite interesting to play. Just because I bought a load of the books as well, which summed up new characters and stuff like that in D&D 5th edition. So I've just been busying myself creating characters and things like that I find interesting. I became quite obsessed with it. I've already got 2 backup characters for our Pathfinder game because 2 of our characters have already died so far. We lost the drunken dwarf cleric who charged into the barghest but forgot that he hadn't healed from the previous battle, so it was like only a third of his health and he just got eaten. There was nothing we could do about it. But take that opportunity to scarper while it was distracted by eating our teammate. Then our fighter died as well. Our fighter was actually killed by our... What was he? He was a barbarian. Yeah, he was an Ifrit barbarian. He had to quit playing the game though because of life responsibilities, and he moved away and things like that, so he had to stop playing, unfortunately. But he killed our fighter, pretty much cleaved his head clean off. Hey, Carlos, how's it going, man? Nice of you to stop by. Dylan, I'm not entirely sure. Hello, Bellhead. What about The Alchemist? I'm not too sure what conversations you listen to, but this is all just like make believe at the minute. I didn't actually have my inside sucked out by a tentacle monster. I'm just talking about characters in games, really, to be fair. I'll see you later, Carlos. Sleep tight. Oh, The Alchemist. The Alchemist is a book. It is a book. Is it about alchemists by any chance? Because if it isn't, it'll be a little bit disappointing to have a book called The Alchemist that was about, like, I don't know, dinosaurs or something. Unless they were alchemist dinosaurs. Which was another thing in the Discord the other day, which I thought was really interesting. We just started making a dinosaur RPG for some reason. I can't even remember how it started. I think it started with some Vikings going back in time and training some velociraptors to fight against the Tyrannosaurus wizards. Tyrannosaurus Rex wizards. And then we just decided to spend like about half an hour just deciding what all the other dinosaurs would be. Which was quite amusing. The T-Rexes, we have wizards. The velociraptors were our like rogue assassin type things. Those creatures from Jurassic Park that had the little neck things and like spat poison or whatever. I think they were our warlocks. Brontosaurus was the druid. Yeah. Okay, kind of confused about what games and characters I'm talking about. All right. These are just characters. Characters I'm talking about mostly just characters that I've made up for an RPG game. And the games are all different games. Most of them are Dungeons and Dragons. You know, the tabletop games where people like roll dice to hit things and everything like that. You must have seen them or heard about them or whatever. It's just those kind of games that I'm talking about, really. But not any particular one, just various ones that I play. But yeah, I do need to create a campaign for the game that I'm going to be GMing. I also just want to create a campaign just to, well, just for the sake of creating one, really, because practice makes perfect. So I'm tempted. I think I may do maybe a little series of streams or whatever where I create a campaign on stream, maybe going through my book, how to create epic campaigns. I just go through that and use it to create a campaign and things like that, because I think that would be might be interesting. It might not. We'll see how many people turn up to watch. But I'll probably just do them as and when, because obviously I'm quite busy with work and things like that. And you've got Christmas coming up as well, so I'll probably not be doing too much because I go away next Thursday. On Thursday, yeah. And obviously I want to keep up doing my Saturday game streams. Now that I've got my internet, it's better. So the quality of me game streams is a lot better. And I can start making scenes and things. So, you know, when I have a break or whatever, and I was seeing come up like be right back and starting soon and things like that. I get all that sorted, start making a bit more professional streams. Not that I'm really very professional, to be fair. I just do this as a hobby, not as a way to make money or anything like that. I've got a job for that. There's just stuff I like to do to have a little bit of fun, in all fairness. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to just go through step by step and build a campaign. And then the people in the chat, I suppose, can help out as well, deciding what kind of things we're going to have in it and whatnot. And then hopefully run it at some point in time. Yeah. You've done. I don't want you helping out. I don't know when you're helping out, Will. I'm sure you could come up with some good ideas. Surely. It's not that hard. It's amazing what a little bit of imagination can do when you just start thinking. Or as you start with, as it does in the book, just start with a sentence and then build it all from there. Bar wenches. Okay. Well, you need bar wenches, I suppose, in a game. If you're having a game that has bars and wenches, I suppose. There's nothing wrong with bar wenches. The next thing I want to try and do as well is breaking into. I've tried a couple of accents in my D&D 5th edition game, but quite simple ones like a southern drawl, and a more posher sounding English accent or whatever. But I need to be brave enough to like break out accents. It's just because I game with friends that I know that if I get it wrong or whatever, even if I don't get it wrong, they'll probably just laugh as soon as I break out an accent. So at the minute, I just use different speech patterns. Sass and bar wenches. Yeah, I suppose that could work. Because at the end of the day, a campaign is made up of lots of little different adventure threads. So I suppose one of the adventure threads could be. Yeah, Jason's accents are. Yeah. They're alright, some of them, but then some of them are not so good. It's generally quite amusing actually listening to some Americans trying to do a British accent. It always reverts to the quite posh Queen's English or Cockney slang or something like that, generally. And Scottish. People trying to do a Scottish accent is quite hilarious. There is a guy I follow online called Dragons and Things, and they do a Pathfinder RPG stream, and the GM on that is his accents are amazing, and he can keep them up as well, like for prolonged periods of time, and he even remembers sometimes, like even if he hasn't played that NPC for like 5 or 6 sessions, and then the NPC appears again, he can remember the accent and the voice that he used for that character to do it again. But he says that sometimes he sits and practicing for for a week, sometimes just practicing his accents and stuff like that, so we can get them right. There's a one that he does at the minute. It's a Durgar, like a deep dwarf, and I couldn't quite place it. Like when he was started, I thought I recognise that accent, but I can't quite place it. And then one of the other guys mentioned that it was from a sci-fi series called The Expanse, which is really, really good. If you like sci-fi series, I thoroughly recommend watching The Expanse. there's a guy in there that does a strange accent. The good thing about that is they did make up, um, they made up accents, which you would have like in space, that had kind of roots in accents from Earth, but were also a little bit different, which was quite good. But this one, it was from that show, and as soon as he said it, I was like, oh yeah, I can even remember the guy as well. Um, and he got it spot on. It was brilliant. So that's kind of like GM goals, is to be good as NPCs as he is. Because he played this one episode where he did this witch, where he was playing a hag actually. Um, but the hag was really like creepy, and he came across really creepy as well. Um, like the way he talks and his intensity when he talks and things like that. He gets into the character of the NPC that he's playing, or the villain, and it's really good. So that's kind of like um that kind of atmosphere and stuff like that. His GM goals on that, and guys like GM goals for creating stories and campaigns and whatnot, because he's a masterful storyteller. Seems a little bit late to be getting into games and things like that at nearly 40, but hey ho, everybody gets hobbies late in life, I suppose. I suppose the end goal would be if I could just do this for a living. That would be cool. Um, but it's hard enough breaking into YouTube and Twitch as it is anyway. Really. I don't know if I had to do it on YouTube. Maybe it's just create campaigns or something. I don't know. Just D&D for a living in some form or another. I can do like some. It's just hard to keep them up. Um, Obviously, like Scottish and Irish, I can do not so bad. My Australian is probably terrible. Uh, Although I did used to talk to this Australian guy like for hours on end on Xbox when we used to play together. Um, so I could probably recreate his accent. It wasn't the typical Australian accent that everyone falls into, which is usually Crocodile Dundee, which is probably like somebody doing Dick Van Dyke for a British accent. In all honesty, um, not all Australian is terrible. It really does depend on region. Um, yeah, but just excuse me one moment. I need to go to the little girl's room and get a drink for that. So. It's not the same doing game streams when you can just like mute the mic and pause it on a nice little pause screen while you go for a drink. It's like now you just gotta like look at a wall. Exactly, Captain Manx. Exactly. Just dead air. I have to, but sometimes I just need to go to the toilet. You can't hold these things in. A cup of coffee would have been better, but water will do. And it's also, I've just realised, nearly 12 o'clock, and I have to be up at 5 for work in the morning. So I should probably stop streaming, in all fairness. I just like sitting here and this quiet offense Spanish. What is that from? Is that from Warhammer? I don't really know much about Warhammer, in all fairness. I've got a I've got a Warhammer game on my PC. But I can't remember what it's called. And that's quite good. It's like a strategy game. Hey, fuckwad, how's it going? Or Russell, as I should say. That is a dying art, yeah, but sometimes, just nature calls and you can't help these things. Dawn of War. Yes, Dawn of War. That's the one that I've got. And I quite like that. So I've got the Dawn of War and I've got the expansion for it as well. And that is actually quite a good strategy game. I enjoy playing that. I know, either name is fine by you. I just got so used to calling you Russell at first, I think, and then everybody was just like, became fuckwad. And yeah. I suppose Russell's more professional than your name, which is rude. Rude, Russell. Good when you get the ultimate apocalypse mod. See, I think I only got. I started playing it and then my laptop broke. And then I had my back surgery and stuff like that, so I wasn't playing on the PC or anything because I just couldn't. And then I just got caught up in other things and stuff like that as well. Um, yeah, and now my whole I used to be like an Xbox fanatic, and now I spend most of my time just doing stuff to do with role play games. Really, to be fair, but that's just because I'm in the middle of working on that project that I was talking about, um, which is going to take up a lot of time, really. But I should be able to get quite a bit of work done while I'm on my holidays. Even though I'm going away, most of the time we'll just be chilling really, so I can just chill in the garden in the sunshine and write about worlds and adventures and things. Because I know Megan and them lot play. I think they play the Vermintide. That's it, Vermintide 2. That looks really good actually. The problem is my potato laptop won't run it, and my other laptop's still broke currently. Well, this one that I'm using, it's fine for running stuff like this. And well, anything that's not really graphics intensive. In all fairness, it's really good at running. And now that I've got my super internet speed as well, it's so fast to do things on this laptop when I'm flitting between having multiple browsers open and things like that. Yeah, the 40k low is quite impressive from what I've heard. Um, just saying, like, well, just hearing Megan talking about it and stuff like that, it seems quite intense. Uh, I mean, Guardsman, the meat shields, yeah. Saying that, I did that in Dawn of War. There was always like one set of guys that I always just sent into the middle to get shot the shit out of, while the rest took care of the enemies, which is probably the best way to play it strategically, I guess. But yeah. But anyway, I really should go to bed. Otherwise, I'll just sit here talking all night and I'll never get up for work in the morning. So, thanks you everybody that turned up. It was really good, very impromptu, a little unprofessional, but I might do a few more of these anyway, creating campaigns on streams, and then might do one where I show how I build my dungeon maps and things as well. I think if it's just a couple of people that turn up to watch that and know we're into this kind of stuff, then I'll be happy with that. So, thank you for coming, and I shall speak to you all later. If I don't speak to you before, I hope everybody has a good Christmas, but I'll be around. I just don't think I'll be doing many streams or anything while I'm away. So, bye bye. Hugs all.